can make it there. I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
Daniel Nunez, what's up, my brother?
Daniel Nunez.
Yeah, man. Nunez jumping in the comments quick. He's out in Cali. It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on YouTube and Facebook. I am Richie, your host, here with my man, my co-host, the two-man tandem, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco, from the Bronx. And yeah, we know that the Giants don't deserve us to wear the gear right now during tough times, but we're here for all of it. Yeah. We trust in the process. We got plenty to say about Jackson Dart's worst game of his career. We got a lot to talk about, and we are giving you a full detailed rundown of Sunday's action, Saturday's action, Thursday's action in the NFL. We're going to hit you with a final preview for Monday Night Football. We're also going to talk about Mr. Jalen Brunson, who's had quite the week in the NBA. And, yeah, let's get to it, man. We're going to start this up. We're going to start this up in the Motor City. The Steelers get the big win, and paired with a Ravens loss, they are now in full control of the AFC North. Aaron Rodgers turning it back a little, playing at a high level. DK Metcalf. Oh, man, stupid. But there is an apparent history with that Detroit fan going back to Seattle.
Yeah.
Daniel Nunez on the comment. It's a beautiful day. Back to the NFC East champs. Yes, congratulations, Nunez. You guys did something that hasn't been done in over 2 decades. I still predict a short stay for you in the playoffs, and a day that I will be celebrating. Probably bust out some bourbon over a nice cigar.
Yeah, me with some weed. Yeah, we got
this. Yeah. I don't smoke like that. Maybe I'll smoke like that day. Your day is coming, pal.
Yes, sir.
And you know, even with a family member of Idris on that staff, you know he's still going to keep it a buck when it comes to his unfiltered hatred.
That's family. This is personal.
You notice how I'm standing here, or how I got like the sun opening, make it, you know, like if they want to see it, if I want them to see it, you know what I'm saying? Nah, love my Giants to the death. It don't matter, bro. It's all part of the process.
That's it.
All part of it. But to the game, Idris, I like what Aaron Rodgers was able to do. Quarterback receiver tandem. Like, I feel that his passes were receiver friendly yesterday, leading guys to the spots. I thought that he was throwing darts yesterday. I thought that he felt very comfortable. And I feel that, you know, maybe the biological clock in Aaron Rodgers' brain is telling him, oh, this is the final turn up. This is the final playoff push for not just this season, but probably my career. And I think over the course of the last 3 weeks, Aaron Rodgers is embracing the challenge of possibly becoming another old fogue that wins a Super Bowl.
I'm with you, man. The last 3 weeks, man, he's been balling out. And like me and you talked offline, I was saying, ever since that day that Tomlin got booed in Pittsburgh and it's about fire him, and Tomlin said they were right to say that, that team has played, the offense has been like playing. The defense, TJ Watt's not even in there. And they've been playing, dude. Rodgers, he's looking, I think it's what you just said. His mind is telling his body, look, this is the last roundup. Let's give it
Oh
all we
yeah,
got.
this is like the John Cena final tour here. And speaking of John Cena, since we got Nunez in the comments, Cooper DeJean, the dynamic sophomore pro, apparently dating Nikki Bella, the former fiance of John Cena. Good for you, Coop.
That's a good dude, man. I like Cooper DeJean, man. I keep
Yeah,
thinking his name is DeJean, the way it
Yeah,
is.
that's like the mustard. Yeah.
But I like him. That guy is all over the field, dude. I like him. He's all over the field. It's still the hell with the Eagles, though. But that guy's all over the field, man.
No, hell of a player. Hell of a player. He had a phenomenal Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
And it was his birthday, too.
Yeah.
But, Nunez in the comments just now is proclaiming that he believes his Philadelphia Eagles will play the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl.
Nah.
I mean, the NFC is open enough. And the one thing that I will give the Eagles is their defense, in my estimation, is elite. However, I am not going to be fooled by wins over the Raiders and Commanders that offense is right, because in my opinion, they are not. Nunez with some comments. Let's see what he's saying. Hey, even yeah, they did.
Yeah, he did.
It's okay. I love the haters.
And I'm, I ain't hating on it. I mean, look, I am a little bit, but it ain't all hate though. It ain't all hate. I mean, I think they'll have a good matchup in the first round, but after that first round, man, and I wouldn't even sleep on Carolina if they win the division.
Yeah, Carolina is going to win that division. We're going to get to them right now. If the playoffs ended, Philly, if the playoffs started, I should say, Philly would play the Niners. And they have, I'll be honest, if we're talking about what's the most friendly matchup for the Eagles, I think it's very favorable that they would draw the Niners in round one.
Yeah. But I wouldn't sleep on the Niners, though. They'll fool you, man. They'll fool you. So
yeah, Rams going down the stretch cannot afford another loss because they could find the Niners sneak going up.
Yeah.
Shed is very realistic with his team's prospects, and he flat out said, good job by Kyle Shanahan this year, but he firmly believes the Niners just don't have the defense to get it done in January, and I tend to agree with him.
Yeah.
So if the Eagles do end up getting the Niners in round one, I would probably take the Eagles at Lincoln Financial to advance to round two. But then things could get thick, but it depends. They played the Packers in a defensive struggle and edged them out in Lambeau.
Yeah.
The Bears really shut down their offense in Lincoln Financial. I don't necessarily think either matchup is more friendly or bad for the Eagles because, the Packers are still not dead in the NFC North.
Right.
And personally, this is one of those weird times, and I have been watching football forever. I personally don't think that the losers in those two first place matchup deciders are worse than the team that beat them. I really wholeheartedly mean that in the Rams game. It took something miraculous for the Seahawks to get that W. And as the Packers go, usually a pretty short-handed I almost called him Brandon Jacobs. Josh Jacobs.
Oh, Jacobs.
Fumbling inside the red zone. I think the Packers are a better team than the Bears. I still believed, and that's another interesting one. That could be a round one matchup for a third time this year.
Possibly.
I still think the Packers are better than the Bears. Just my personal opinion. I think the Bears have been very fortunate this year.
Yeah. I agree with you. The Packers shot themselves in the foot. And I'm not going to take nothing away from the Bears. I mean, they've got it done. But I'm just not I'm not satisfied, man. Caleb Williams, great down the stretch with against Green Bay. But up until that point, man, he always has that one good pass, like one good play. Say, yeah, okay. But when you look at him before that, he's not really looking. He's looking average, man. But he's getting it done.
Correct.
You can't take that away from him. But I'm just not. I'm not sold on him yet. He's getting better, but I'm not. I want to see him where he has to do it. Where you don't have Josh Jacobs fumbling in the red zone, and you don't have them fumbling the snap down there in the red zone, whatever. You don't have that. I want to see what happens when you're down 8 points or 9 points where you got to get 2 scores. Let's see what you do when you're under pressure.
I'm with Nunez 100% on this comment here, that the Bears remind him a lot of last year's Commanders. I think that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
They do remind me very much so of them.
Yep.
It just dawned on me that I still have my Seattle and LA Rams pick up, but that's okay because I still think it's the game of the week. So we'll roll with that pick for today whenever I turn my cam off. But yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams undeniably showing a lot of growth here in year 2 of his NFL pro journey. I will definitely give him props for stepping up and being that dude right now. You know, DJ Moore, you know, he showed pure exhaustion on that deciding touchdown pass, getting behind the defense.
Yeah.
He barely could move at that point. I think it's a combination of just dehydration, because people lose sight of the fact that in those cold elements, it's also very easy to become dehydrated.
It is breathing, and you actually tire out. You know, people don't really you tire out. You know, and it's easy to get dehydrated because you feeling it's cold outside. Well, I'm not burning a lot of stuff, but your body's working harder to stay warm, so you're sweating. So yeah, it's rough. But congrats, DJ Moore. I mean, he sucked it up, man. Great catch though. Great catch. Overtime, great catch. So like I said, I'm not gonna take anything away from Chicago. They're winning. They remind me the Eagles, the Patriots. They're winning the games they have to win, and that's what matters. But it's like they're just one play away from just imploding. But you know, they're doing what they're doing though. So I guess Richie's taking care of something right now. So
No, I'm reading this comment. Comment.
Okay.
So I think everyone is saying the Eagles won't repeat on this and that. You look at this, and he makes a solid point. They have had a lot of turnover at the OC because similar to what happened to the Packers during large parts of the Favre era, a lot of times the Packers had the hot coordinator who would go on and move on to different things. So I do see the value in what Nunez is saying here. I also think it's a vast downgrade from what they had previously with guys like Steichen, guys like Kellen Moore that were in that building. And, you know, I think Jalen Hurts is somewhere in the middle. I don't think he's as bad as his worst, but I certainly don't think he's as good as his best. And the one thing that I've seen with the Philadelphia Eagles over the course of the year, I think their signature victory of the season undeniably was that road win against the Rams, in large part to their special teams. I would say their low point of the year was getting their doors blown off by the New York Football Giants in a primetime setting. They rectified that loss with a blowout win against the Giants a couple weeks after that. And somewhere in the middle, I would say that beating the Packers, while the defensive struggle, I don't think they felt very good, and I would have to say they felt worse with the road loss to Denver. Of course, there was a controversial call that benefited Denver in that game, where I think possibly the Eagles may have got hosed, because I like to call it fairly. My thing with the Eagles this year, while they might not have the tendency of pure implosion like the 2023 version did, in the playoffs, when you're playing against elite teams, you need to play offense at a high level. And I don't believe the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be able to consistently do that. The Eagles do that against middle-of-the-road defenses. We've seen them do it against the Raiders. We've seen them do it against the Giants. And the Giants are far from middle of the road. They're more like bottom of the road. But against the better defenses in the league, the Eagles have not proven to me that they can do it offensively. And that is something that is going to be problematic in my estimation in the playoffs for them. As these Bears go, they have mastered the art of winning the grind them out ugly games. And there is some value to that, Idris. I will give them that. But I still believe the Green Bay Packers are a better team, and I still believe, similarly to how I said about the Bills and Patriots, a third meeting, the wild card team will win. I think the Green Bay Packers are more than comfortable going into Chicago twice in a month and winning a second matchup. Now, some people feel the Packers should have won game 2 and the Bears should have won game 1. So in my estimation, they're right where they should be.
I agree with you. And both teams should have won the other game. And I agree. I think the third time around, I think Green Bay will pull it off. Hopefully it's in Green Bay, but I don't know. They got to work. They got to win out.
No doubt.
So
no, 100%. I agree with you there.
But I think in the third game, because I just think they won't. I think they'll win the third game. Because I just Chicago gets iffy sometimes, man. And Josh Jacobs was eating them up, So yeah, I would go Green Bay the third time around.
And while we made the story about the Steelers in their matchup with Detroit, I do want to hit on Detroit before we move it along.
Mm-hmm.
I said it, and I was very honest when I said it a couple of seasons ago on that Monday morning rundown of the NFC Championship game. I felt that the Detroit Lions missed the golden opportunity to put away the 49ers. I think Dan Campbell outcoached himself.
Yep.
And you made a good point off air that this will be a good time to share to the viewers that you feel that Dan Campbell needs to be restricted to a level with some of this low productivity in terms of results, with the obsession of constantly going for it on fourth down. I do believe that over the years, when you're a good team that has a championship window, the window gets ever so small after a few failures. Sometimes it reopens due to circumstances. A great example is in the AFC that Patrick Mahomes is unfortunately injured, and the Chiefs in general just weren't good enough to be a playoff team this year. I remember in the NBA in the 90s when Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway were doing their thing. I said Patrick Ewing's championship window is closing. It reopened when Shaq signed with the Lakers. Point to be made here, Idris, is I believe that the Lions are unfortunately going to be remembered as one of these teams that just didn't get it done when their window of opportunity was there. And when you look at a North Division where you have the young Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, a former Lion coach, very innovative. Matt LaFleur has a phenomenal winning percentage that ranks up there with Curly Lambeau and Vince Lombardi with the Green Bay Packers. And it's translated into the Jordan Love era as well. It's not just the benefit of having the great Aaron Rodgers. I think the Lions may very well, this is more problematic than, we might miss the playoffs this year. This is a bigger issue where Dan Campbell might be that dude that's a good coach, but he might not be that dude that's going to win you a chip. And they might have to make a very hard decision where a good coach gets let go of because they don't think they can take him any further. Remember, this is a man that almost got fired before they got hot and then showed some promise when they ended the Packers season. And then obviously the NFC title game. Last year they had the best record in football. To Nunez's point, the Commanders caught him at the best possible time with all the injuries. So I'm worried if I'm the Detroit Lions in terms of the championship window closing.
I'm with you, man. Like I was saying offline, though, I believe Dan Campbell is a real good coach. Great coach. I mean, he gets
no
it
question.
done. But he's cost them some wins, man, with that. Sometimes you got to take the three, but he is taking points off the board or gamble when you're like, dude, just kick the field goal. Dallas, and see, that hurts, man, because what happens if they got the number one seed that year?
Right.
Who knows? Who
right.
knows?
Right.
They did pretty well, considering.
I mean, it was the perfect storm for them to get upset by the Commanders. And like I said, I blame that in a big way on the injuries. And, the Commanders made enough plays on defense where Goff, and that's another thing. Jared Goff is not exactly a spring chicken. I like him.
Right.
But the Rams identified that he was not the guy that was going to get them over the top. And that's why they made the trade for Matthew Stafford. They already have one in the trophy case. They're going to be pushing for another one this year. And even if that set up the Lions to have a really nice roster.
Yeah.
If they don't at least match what the Rams did, the Rams win that trade, even if it sets back the Rams financially for a minute, because they got it done.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you all the way with that. I like Detroit. They're one of those teams that even though, I'm a Giants fan, they're one of those teams that I say they got a loyal fan base. They've been doing this for so many years, and I like to see them win. But you have to put and actually, I'm not a head coach. Never been a head coach, so I don't know what goes through their mind. But I'm like, every time you've done this, it's hurt you.
Right,
You got to start saying, okay, what's the best thing for us to do?
and it kind of scares you to a level. I'll make another basketball crossover reference.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to my boss at work, who's a diehard Knicks fan as well.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts out Jose. He said Mike Brown makes in-game adjustments that Tom Thibodeau never made.
Yeah.
And this is something that is going to be problematic moving forward for the Lions. And there's other things. Sometimes it's like you get 1 year where it's like your year and you got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the AFC back when Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger were the main guys running that shit. Phillip Rivers always was playing bridesmaid or next up for best man. And it's like the one time that they had them dead to rights was 06. We know what happened. I think his name was Marlon McCree. He intercepted the ball. Yeah. And we know how it played out. That was their year.
Yep.
You know, so these opportunities, the message I'm sending here, these opportunities are few and far between, and I think the Lions might have missed it already.
I'm with you, man, because the defense they have is shot. They can't.
No, it's not good enough to win in January.
No, and
they have the running game that can offset some of that shit and mask it. But once again, I think Dan Campbell sometimes forgets that this is not arena football.
No, it's not. You know, you got there's 100 yards here. You know.
Yeah, man, you gotta take the air out of the ball sometimes. Sometimes you gotta play the clock to your favor. I just think that certain intricacies that Dan Campbell at his core probably knows better. But some coaches are stubborn to a level where it's like, I got to do it my way and I got to reinvent the wheel. And sometimes you overcomplicate things that should be friggin' simple.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And see, that might be his downfall, man.
No doubt. No doubt.
It's a shame because that's a good team, man. It's a good team, and they're fun to watch and everything, man. I mean, they got good personalities. Golf. I'm in Ross St. Brown. You know, you got the who at the backfield with Gibbs and Montgomery. They're all good guys. You know, Agent Hutch. I mean, they're all good guys. So it's a good team.
And Hutch still isn't all the way back yet either.
Yeah, no, he's not all the way back.
I want to call out my cousin AJ Santoro here. He's on the defense side of the law. He's a pretty good lawyer out in Detroit. I'm doing some self-promotion for my family here. AJ, find out who that guy with the blue hair is.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or maybe go flip mode and go represent DK. Get involved, AJ, on that one.
Do that, yeah. But
AJ will not defend. AJ will not be on the end of DK for one simple reason. He actually is a Lions fan. My cousin is a giant sympathizer. He was born in New Jersey, but at a very young age, but he grew up in Michigan. My cousin, you know, New York roots.
Yeah.
Grew up, born in Jersey, but raised in Michigan. So he is a Lions fan, and I give him props because he rooted for them when they were terrible.
Yeah.
He's a Lions fan, giant sympathizer. So basically what that means is if the Giants are in it and the Lions aren't, he will pull for the Giants.
I can see that.
But he is a Lions fan. Moving it along, we're going to talk about the Seahawks Thursday night miraculous victory. That 2-point conversion is something that looks like one of them Madden's on some bullshit plays.
Yeah.
But the reality is, despite all these conspiracy theorists that want to go in on the refs, and I got plenty bad to say about the refs pretty much any Sunday or any day that a football game's played.
Oh, yeah.
It was behind the line of scrimmage. It really was. And that actually was a normal play that just went like haywire.
Yeah.
That looked like something out of a blooper video, but it actually was the right way. I mean, the Rams, I blame this a little bit of complacency, falling asleep at the wheel. When you have a 2-score lead on the road against your most threatening division rival and you already have a W in the bag, it looks like. I think this is more about the Rams' complacency. I'm going to give Seattle credit because they fought to the end.
Yeah.
But similar to how I feel about Green Bay, Chicago, I don't think the Rams are not. I think the Rams are better than the Seahawks.
Yeah, I do too. I just think they caught them. You know, they caught them. The Rams didn't put them away like they usually do. And the Seahawks is like, hey, we got our chance. Let's do it. You know,
and let's take into consideration Devontae Adams didn't even suit up for this thing.
Yeah, he was out with it.
The Rams did something that nobody's been able to do all year. So I'm going to give them props on that. They were able to gash the Seattle defense. It's just unfortunate for the Rams that this was a Sunday where their own defense kind of fell asleep at a critical time.
Yeah. So I'm not going to take nothing bad away from the Rams. I mean, it's not like the Seahawks are scrubs. They're good. So I just think it was a good, tough game on the road. They made some mistakes and it cost them, but in the end, I still have them there. Because when they're clicking, dude.
Yeah, and when you look at all their losses this year, whether we're talking about Kyron Williams getting stuffed on a 4th and short against the Niners early in the year, whether we're talking about the special teams blunders that led to an Eagle comeback victory, whether we're talking about a couple of weeks back when they lost that shootout to Carolina uncharacteristically, Matthew Stafford turns the ball over twice, or if we're talking about most recently with that just ridiculous 2-point conversion or just falling asleep at the wheel, as I already alluded to.
Yeah.
The Rams, I'm not going to make an excuse every time they lose, but the point I'm making is I think over the course of the season, they have proven that they're the most consistent team in the NFC. And I still think even in a road scenario, the Rams should win the conference. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC. I'm not swayed on that because of this most recent defeat.
Yeah, I agree. I think going to Seattle will still be tough to play because going to Seattle is tough to play anyway.
No question.
So I think that will be the toughest part if they have to go to Seattle, if anyone has to go to Seattle. But other than that, I don't see them getting knocked off. I don't see them getting knocked off.
No, neither do I. Neither do I.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the Patriots for a second here. Take back the 1 seed in the AFC by virtue of the Jaguars' upset win in Mile High. The New England Patriots right now, big win yesterday on the road against the Ravens. The Ravens really needed to win that game. They did not.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson, back injury. I hope he's all right. He's been playing hurt all year. He's been doing his due diligence to just be available for his team, but I think it's been in vain. That defense is a joke over there. You play who's on your schedule. I think New England has benefited mightily off of the strength of schedule. However, they win consistently, and their signature win this year is the game in Buffalo earlier in the season. They're obviously going to be tested in a much larger way once these playoffs start. They have an easy path to wrap up this division, as you're talking about already a punched playoff berth, and they got the Jets and the Dolphins in the final 2 games. It doesn't get any more, straight line for the Patriots to win this division. Excuse me. Well, the division should be in hand. I'm talking more about the 1 seed in the conference. It's kind of like a weird caveat to this because New England has 3 losses on the road at home, no losses on the road. Is the 1 seed going to benefit them?
The playoffs are a whole different animal, man. So the way I see it, you'll go undefeated on the road during the season. But once you get to the playoffs, man, just look at Dallas a few years ago. They lost a lot of games on at home, but they were road warriors. Got in the playoffs, boom. So when you get to the playoffs, it's different. And they have the 1 seed, so they gotta wait a week to see who they play. But it won't be easy, man. Even though the Chargers will be waiting there. Whoever wins Chargers, maybe Pittsburgh. Who knows? And they'll be at home.
Right.
So,
And let me not confuse anyone here. Both their losses, 2 of their 3 losses, I should say, were very early in the season.
Yeah.
You're talking before October 1st. They already had 2 losses at home. They lost to the Steelers. They lost to the Raiders. The Steelers' loss has aged a little better. Week 1 is week 1. Anything can happen in week 1. They lost to the Raiders in week 1. Buffalo, big come-from-behind win against them. It looked like the Patriots were cruising. They would have already been division champions had they won that game. But I think something was gained by Buffalo coming back with the morale aspect of it. And while I don't think Buffalo is going to win the division this year, they, in my opinion, similar to the Rams in the NFC currently, are the most logical team as a wild card that can do it because they've been there so many years in a row. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the whole crew in Kansas City will not be participating in the playoffs this year. And I don't think Buffalo necessarily needs to be at home to do this. I actually think that they might be more geared to go on the road and kind of take out all their frustrations and all their pains over the years on the AFC field in the playoffs. And I am picking the Buffalo Bills to win the conference.
Me too. And the thing about it, and there may not be a Lamar Jackson either in the playoffs this year.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. And he's a guy who, unfortunately, has been on the wrong side of a narrative, too. In part, some of his poor play. In part, people failing him around him. Like, you look no further than Zay Flowers a year ago. Plus, combine that with one bad pass that Lamar made. But truthfully, in that AFC title game, I feel that the combo of Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid just outcoached Harbaugh and co.
I'm with you. So, I think this is the year. This is probably Josh Allen's best year to win it.
One athlete that I constantly compare Josh Allen to, it's not even a football player. I compare him the most to Patrick Ewing. Because when Ewing got to the finals, it was in a Jordanless field.
Yeah.
And, similar to Mahomes, he's been the gatekeeper to preventing Josh Allen from getting to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I do think there's some, like Jordan was to Ewing. So I do think there's some value to that.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And I just think that his only test will be Denver, of course, going up to Mile High. Because you're going to have to go to Mile High. You have to go to Mile High, regardless.
But that's a whole nother convo, because yesterday, that's a little bit of a shakeup there. And correct me if I'm wrong, Idris. Don't the Chargers have one more game with these Broncos?
One more at home.
The Broncos are not guaranteed to win that division. The Chargers won the first meeting.
Yeah, they got to go to. I'm about to call it lo-fi because it's lo-fi music. They got to go. They got to go to SoFi, and they just went up to the mountains, man, and beat them guys, man. I'm thinking. My bad. I'm thinking of Jacksonville.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. No, I actually think the rematch is in Mile High.
Okay. I'm right. Okay. You beat them. If you beat them in Mile High, man.
Similarly to how I feel about the Eagles, I have a similar vibe on the Broncos. The Broncos do have an elite defense, no question about it. In my opinion, the only defense that's better than them is the Texans.
Yeah.
But the problem with the Broncos is their offense takes detours and takes plays off and takes quarters off and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think and that's going to hurt him, because I think with Bo Nix, he's playing, but he doesn't look like the guy from last year. Up here, yes. But on the field, like he took like a slight step back, but I think he'll pick it back up. He's commanding the offense. He's doing his thing. They're winning the game. That defense is just like Houston. The defense is going to keep him in most games. However, when you get in the playoffs, like I said, the playoffs is a whole different animal. So you're going to need both. The defense can hang. Like even with the Giants that year, the 2 years we won the Super Bowl, our defense was 27-17. We basically backed into the playoffs. Eli held it down until we got to the playoffs. Then the defense came up. Now, what if that defense and remember, the Pats we had the worst defenses, actually. Now, what if that defense, you get to the playoffs, they're not playing that well? Then you go up against the Chargers or even Pittsburgh.
The Chargers have been a weird team for me to figure out because, you had a couple of real stinkers from Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
He lit up the Dallas Cowboys, but that's to be expected because a lot of quarterbacks have done that. So the thing is, it comes down to a premier coaching matchup, too. You got Sean Payton versus John Harbaugh. That's going to be a hell of a coaching matchup that's reignited from their NFC days, where Harbaugh was a Niner and Payton was a Saint.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that 2011 Giants season, I think we caught a blessing because the one team that I did not want to face in that playoff tournament was the New Orleans Saints. They put it on us in an ugly way in New Orleans. We would have had to go back there. And I'll be real with you. It would have been a Patriot Saints Super Bowl if the Niners did not defeat the Saints.
Yeah.
We were not beating the Saints that year. So, sometimes good fortune goes a long way. We saw it with the Patriots. with the Justin Tucker miss, things happen sometimes in games that you can't explain. But Duval heard loud. They travel well, and I can speak on that from experience. I remember going to Saquon Barkley's first game of his career. Huge Winnebago from Duval lined up right next to us, and they were actually hanging with us pregame. We want years later to see the Giants defeat them in the 22 season.
Yep.
Usually a really good atmosphere. Liam Cohn has transformed this Jaguar team, and I told you that I was wrong on here. I'm going to call myself out. I thought for sure after Trevor Lawrence's phenomenal game that he was going to naturally just have a stinker. Is it time to start trusting Trevor Lawrence?
Let's wait till the playoffs. Let's see what happens in the playoffs.
It's been a mixed bag with Trevor. I thought he was admirable in that year that they lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They are a tough one to figure. And then you got the Houston Texans who pose a threat to anybody they play because of how ferocious their defense is. So the Texans should probably be in a wild card situation, and that would be an interesting matchup if they were to run into somebody like Denver or Jacksonville, especially Jacksonville. That would be a hell of a game.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give Lawrence his props because he's doing what he's doing in the playoffs. I mean,
no
you
doubt,
gotta do your thing.
No
but
doubt.
I want to see what he does when he gets to the playoffs. I want to see what he does. I mean, regular season doing his thing. If he can show me something there, okay. Up until then, I'm like, the jury's still out on him with me, man.
No, I kind of share your sentiments. Because I'll tell you this. Okay, we talk about matchups. If he plays C.J. Stroud and the Texans, naturally I trust Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence more than I would C.J. Stroud. On the coaching spec, it's a awesome matchup of a great defensive mind in DeMeco Ryans versus a great offensive mind in Liam Cohn. But having said all this stuff, the one team that I think Buffalo probably doesn't want to run into is Houston, because we saw the way they got after Josh Allen in that game.
Yeah.
That could be problematic. Yeah, defense is defense. That could be problematic. But I'm sticking to my guns. I picked Buffalo to win this conference way back in late August. I'm sticking with them. I didn't have them finishing second to New England or anything like that. Brett did. But Brett's our resident Patriot fan.
Right.
And I guess this would be a good time to congratulate Brett Bandick. First time in the finals since, God, you're talking 05, 06, since the last time Brett made the finals in the Pops Cheddar and the Sun League. It was not called the Pops Cheddar and the Sun League because my pop used to be a member of that league.
Yeah.
He lost the inaugural Super Bowl fantasy to Wags. Wags pulled a Gronkowski and actually broke his trophy. The next year, he lost to Kansas City Chiefs superfan Jeff Blauert. And this is his first time back. He beat me in round one. He named his team the Dynasty Killer. And then he beat another former champion, our guy Mike Zappi, who's having, I would say, a rough start to the week. Zappi posted on social media his face. It looked like comparable to Jake Paul.
Yes, I saw it, and I responded. Yes, I'm starting to wonder, was he Jake Paul's stuntman or something?
Oh, but we got something on the horizon. I talked to Brett after I spoke to you today. Brett will be providing a short to us.
Uh-oh.
I'm actually going to ask him to send it directly to you.
Okay.
Because we're going to pair Brett's 3-minute smack talk session to Zappy with the Zappy picture.
Let's do that. Send it to me. I got the editing. I got it.
We're gonna take care of this today. So in addition to eliminating Mike Zappy from the fantasy playoffs, Zappy was a heavy favorite to win. I want to let you know the commissioner is on the way out too, barring a massive game from Christian McCaffrey. Massive meaning he needs 35 points out of McCaffrey. McCaffrey's highest is 20-something this year, but he's been consistently putting up 20-somethings, which is great. He has the most fantasy points in the league. I guess that's the guy you want to lean on in a desperation moment. But it looks like the finals are going to be Jake Wilt versus Brett Bandick. Jake is a former champion in his own right. In the early 2010s, Jake has a championship to his name. Brett Bandick, on the other hand, has never won. He's been a perennial bridesmaid. Can Brett get the job done? One more victory for the Dynasty Killer, as he was motivated to name himself after my almost dynasty. The Chiefs and King Richard died together.
Salute.
And
Congratulations,
Nunez,
Brett. He still ain't shit, but congratulations. And
Nunez is saying,
hold on, Richie. Oh, go ahead. What do you say?
no. Nunez needs a big one out of Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. But I'm gonna say this about Brett, and I know I'm hating. Yeah, I'm hating on your ass. Hey, I sent him a trade that helped him win the championship. Damn it. I'm calling you out, Brett.
What's
you ain't getting all the credit.
What's interesting about this, though, is Brett is the least likely member of our league to make a lot of moves. He does not make a lot of moves habitually.
Right.
We got on his case last year when I made necessary moves to ensure a fantasy championship.
Yeah.
Brett had a good record, ran out of juice at the end, and was dinged out in round one. So for Brett to make minimal moves, even with his roster, he did make a deal with you.
Yeah.
I made a deal with you as well. Mm-hmm. And the player I made a deal with you for actually performed well for me in my matchup against Brett. I lost to Brett because I did not play Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Yeah.
But Brett would counter and say, if I would have played Knox, I would have kicked your ass. And he's actually right about that. So congrats to you, Brett. You ain't shit, though. And
never gonna be shit.
I look forward, because I told Brett, I said, let's take it back to the birth of this podcast. You and Zappy were arch nemesis for a good while here on the show. And this is your chance to kick him when he's vulnerable and down.
Damn, man. Ladies
Beat
and
him in
gentlemen,
fantasy.
Ladies and gentlemen of the show, fans of the show, let me tell you, Zappy got fucked up.
We don't know that for sure.
No. I don't mean like literally beat up. Whatever happened to Zappy, yeah, he was in there with Anthony Joshua.
I want to put Zappy at the scene in Detroit, and I want to get my cousin to cash in, and we could say that DK Metcalf punched Zappy.
Look, if y'all remember Reginald Denny from the damn Rodney King shit, that's what Zappy looks like right now. But one thing that between him and Reginald Denny, Zappy's actually smiling. Hey, look, y'all gotta forgive me. I'm a dark humor person, but y'all gotta see Zappy's face. It's hilarious. Reginald Denny, man. I told him to stop talking shit to them Eagle fans. I got Zappy, you my boy, man. But we got the cloud, you homie.
Unbelievable. That's all I got on that one.
Dude, when I seen that photo, dude, I busted out laughing, dude.
I was like, I thought he got into like some kind of brawl or something.
Yeah. Oh, Zappy. We love you, Zap, man. We love you, Zap.
He ain't get no mercy from the West Coast. Well, that's what happens when you're a Kardashians fan. Unbelievable. Only on the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. You got an old episode here. Idris, I always like to give Idris shit about being so damn smart, Idris is the kind of guy that in his spare time, he'll read a book in the park, he'll take an apple with him, just all kinds of studious.
Actually, a banana.
And, yeah, okay.
I ain't a monkey, y'all, but I do like bananas. All right? Go ahead, man.
Idris, you can't make this shit up. Since we're talking about fighting and shit. Idris gets pulled up on by a guy half his age that was talking smack on social media that found Idris. He came with some help. Idris turns the clock back, knocks this fool out. The authorities show up. They put the cuffs on Idris. Then they find out what's going on. They take Idris anyway just to talk to him about the situation. Come to find out that this idiot that tried to fight Idris and got knocked the fuck out had an open warrant on his ass.
Yep.
We named that show Casual Combo. This is what I mean. Like, these are the guys on my show. There's never a dull moment here. And what a weird year. You got Brett winning fantasy. You got Zappy losing in fantasy.
The cop drove me back to where he picked me up from.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. I did a show with Nunez one time. I almost knocked down my Christmas tree.
Damn.
Like you cannot make this shit up.
And when I fell, but I wasn't on camera. Y'all missed that one.
Yeah, right before. That would have been on the blooper reel for sure.
I literally had just cut the camera off to it. Boom.
Nah, I'm telling you, man. When you go into our catalog, you're like, wow, this is something else.
Yeah, we're cards, y'all. we are a deck of cards.
This is an interesting place.
With a deck of cards, you don't know what's coming out next.
Tyler Shuck making a case for best rookie quarterback. I'm going to give some props to our man from TND Sports, Socrates Fortlow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a Saints fan. I respectfully disagreed with him about a week ago saying why I think Jackson Dart. But at the end of the day, you got to give some credit here because the man, he's winning games. And, you look at the comparisons to Shador and Dart and this and that coming out of college. This is a dude that probably would have been at the top if he didn't have such a long injury history, coming out of Louisville.
Yep.
I'm going to come off a little bit of what I said. I still think Dart has the highest ceiling out of these four guys, if you want to throw in Cam Ward. But the thing with Dart right now is, thankfully, there's only 2 games left. He lost 2 offensive linemen yesterday. Andrew Thomas hurt again. Damn it! This time it's a hamstring. Yeah, that's
what. I'm glad it's at the
problematic.
end of the season, though. You never want an injury, but I'm glad it's at the end of the season, not during the season. The hammy.
No question. And the Giants O-line has been much improved this year.
Yes.
Particularly running the rock. But
yes,
I look forward to seeing who the Giants bring in for young Jackson Dart. As Shuck, I can't say. As he goes, I think he has certified that he deserves to be the quarterback of the future for the Saints.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see if Joe Burrow really does want out of Cincinnati. I'm not convinced that he wants to stay there much longer. He did the right thing by his teammates, got them both paid.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced that Joe Burrow wants to finish his career with the Bengals, and the most logical place for him to go would be New Orleans, given his roots with winning a national title there and being an LSU Tiger. It would make almost too much sense. And then you have to beg the question, what happens to Tyler Shuck? Do they keep him as a project quarterback after Burrow? Burrow's still got some years in front of him if he wants to keep playing. Do they trade him to somebody that and I'm not just putting him in New Orleans. I mean, the Bengals would have to trade him. There's so many moving parts that would have to come together.
There's a lot of money involved,
Absolutely. But, step one is if you don't want to play, you could force the hand of the organization. I mean, we've seen some of his cryptic messages on X lately. We saw him talk about walking away from the game, similar to what guys in Detroit did, like Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Andrew Luck did it with Indy. I am interested to see how that plays out. Yesterday in East Rutherford, the Giants defense actually showed up for a change. But unfortunately, Jackson Dart had his worst day as a pro. Yeah. This was the Brian Flores revenge game, as Doug Rush said on his socials.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more with Doug. For those of you who may have forgot or don't remember or just didn't know, Brian Flores was passed over by the New York Football Giants in favor of Brian Dable. He found out in a very unsavory way. Some people think that Bill Belichick did that on purpose to be a dickhead or maybe be a wise guy because these are both friends of his in real life. It actually ruptured the trust level of the Giants and Belichick, which is one of the biggest reasons why Belichick might not be considered for this Giants head coaching job. So, a lot of negativity came out of that. He had a lawsuit actively against the NFL for the way he was treated, mainly of all the teams by the Denver Broncos, as he had mentioned that the Broncos brass was actually intoxicated when they interviewed him. So it could be very demeaning, especially for a coach of color, as coaches of color have fought at a disproportionate level to be hired as the head coaches. A lot of people feel that he got a raw deal in Miami.
Yeah.
The Giants situation at minimum was messy because it's irresponsible, even if it's a good friend, to let out information if it blows up. It made the Giants look very unorganized and very stupid, for lack of a better word. The dividends paid off early with Brian Dable. Obviously, he's out of a job right now, too. But this was Brian Flores really locking in. And for 2 consecutive weeks, the Minnesota Vikings have played excellent defense against two pretty good quarterbacks in Dak Prescott and young Jackson Dart. Abdul Carter, while playing well, third consecutive week with a sack, cost the Giants a game, going off sides. He was in the neutral zone. He didn't realize he was in the neutral zone, and it washed away the pick six from Javon Holland. Am I mad that we lost? There's 2 weeks left in the season. Tennessee Titans beat the Chiefs yesterday. The New York Giants play the Raiders next. I don't know if a Giants win would mathematically pull them out of the one pick. I actually have to see what the breakdown is. Mm-hmm. But I think if the Giants win one more game but lose to the Cowboys, or however they choose to do this, beat the Cowboys, lose to the Raiders, whatever. If the Giants only lose one more game, I still think they get the one pick. But I have to research that.
Yeah. Hitting on Joe Burrow right quick before I go on to the Giants and Tyler Shough and everything. He wants out, dude. He's just saying too much, sending too many messages. He wants out.
I tend to agree, Idris. I do.
Yeah, I don't blame him because you put everything you can in that franchise. You don't got your legs. You didn't got beat up, broken up, everything. And still, they're not putting nothing around you to protect you. Just like with Andrew Luck. They didn't put nothing around that man to protect him. He just said, I can't do it no more.
Andrew Luck was taking beatings at the ratio of like a David Carr or an Archie Manning.
Yeah, he was getting
Archie
hit
Manning
every time.
Archie Manning like beat down.
Yeah, he was getting hit every time. So I don't think I would like to see him in New Orleans. Yeah, but I don't think he'll go there. But he'll be.
The Bengals have to make a commitment to figuring out a way to keep this guy happy. I don't know. They got to present him. They got to present him with a vision that makes sense. And I'll be real with you, Idris. I'm starting to wonder if Zach Taylor might be on the way out, and if that's part of what Burrow would need to feel a little more fortified. Because I'm not trying to paint Zach Taylor as a bad coach, but when you have consecutive years missing the playoffs, now part of that is due to Burrow, not being completely available. These are 2 consecutive years that he got hurt. A lot of moving parts yet again. But when you consider that year in and year out, you have a top 3 receiving duo, but this is a team that already played in a Super Bowl with those 3 men, Burrow, Higgins, and Chase.
And gotten close on 2 other occasions, yeah.
Yes, indeed. They lost the AFC title game to the Chiefs. So it's a tough one. And I say to myself, is there something they could do to make Joe Burrow believe that the vision is there, where in another year or 2 they can get back? I mean, at the heart of every true competitor, you just want to win. And it's an uphill battle, because I know that Josh Allen probably went through a bout of depression after losing to Patrick Mahomes yet again. You know that a guy like Burrow's very intense. A guy like Lamar's very intense. It kills these guys when they lose. And we even see that trait in young Jackson Dart, which is one of the biggest reasons why I'm a fan of his.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. What can they do to keep him there? They got to build around him, man. Period. You
got to protect him. Period. You got to put money into that O-line one way or another.
And see, that's why with Zach Taylor, he might, because you're the coach. You're the closest head to the quarterback. That's your son. You got to protect that guy. You need to go to management. Hey, we got to protect this guy. This is a freaking franchise, a literal free franchise quarterback. You got to protect him, and they're not. Now, as for the Giants and rookie of the year, Tyler Shough definitely has to get consideration, considering he's coming in, he's balled out. Yesterday, Jackson Dart had a stinker. And I don't think they're playing that hard. I'm not saying they're quitting, but I think they're just out there going through the motions, trying to get it over with. I don't know. I'm just.
But my God, another game where Darius Slayton drops another very important pass.
Before you say any more, Richie, I used to love Darius Slayton. I used to love that guy. Now I'm like, you know what? Let's figure something out.
He is the most, outside of Jalen Hyatt, who doesn't even get on the field enough to really make an assessment, other than the fact that the kid just can't run routes, and he's not smart. I'm sorry.
He can't run routes. He's not that smart, dude.
No, I'm sorry, he's not. And Darius Slayton checks all the boxes from a logical level of a guy who he knows how to run the routes. But I've never seen another player drop so many important passes or just stupid shit happen. Like the touchdown in Philly, that should have been a touchdown. I get it. But this guy is just like bad juju for us. It's like,
and he runs good routes.
They paid him. Right. They paid him when I don't understand. And now you got Wandell coming up for a contract. That's a guy that I think you got to keep around.
You got to keep Wandell. And and that's it. Darius Slayton, he runs routes. He runs good routes. He's there where the ball's supposed to be there, but his hands are not. Excuse me.
And Theo Johnson yesterday, my God, he was worried about getting hit, so he alligator armed the ball. Then it got picked off anyway, and then he still got hit.
Then he got hit. He did Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay.
Oh my God, he was famous for that. The only time that man caught passes was in friggin' Madden.
And when garbage time when he got put in there.
But this was a terrible. There's two things the Giants did this year that was just terrible money moves where they could have done better in terms of getting the right depth. They could have spent some of that money on middle veteran receivers just to kind of enhance your receiving depth, and they could have also spent some money on defensive depth. Instead, they pay Russell Wilson that stupid-ass one-year contract, and they give Darius Slayton way too much money. I'm sorry. That was too much.
Why did we even sign Russ anyway?
Dude, we could have kept Tommy Cutlets to be our practice squad, man.
Yep.
I think when you do without at the quarterback position for so long, it was an overreaction by management, personally. And maybe they thought they can revive Russ to a level. He had one great game, and other than that, just looked like a guy who doesn't belong in any starting role at this level anymore. One of the better men and just a good person.
Yeah.
But I think when you first signed Jameis, that should have been it. Jameis is the starter. Dart is your next up when you're ready to unveil him to the football world. And Cutlets, Cutlets would have been your emergency.
Because Jameis is just 31 years old, so Jameis is still relatively young, and he doesn't have a lot of mileage on him.
I have a feeling that what's going to happen with Jameis, because of the fragility of being a 30 and up journeyman quarterback, is that similar to Tyrod Taylor, a lot of these guys get tired of just holding down something for a young guy. Yeah. But because Jameis has taken to New York so well, and New York has loved him right back,
he ain't going nowhere.
Yes, he'll play out. He'll play out one more year as a member of the Giants, and I think the Giants are gonna make him one of the better paid backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
To be that guy behind Jackson Dart, helping him mature as a quarterback. They might do it at the end of
this year, because he's on the 2
They might add. I would add some years to that, because you got to take into consideration that the way Jackson Dart plays so damn reckless.
Yeah.
Jameis is only one hit away from seeing the field, and he is a guy that can adapt quickly, whereas Russ, I felt, was never truly prepared to come into these games.
And see, with Jameis, and Jameis might be the guy who can settle Jackson Dart down.
Well, I think that he's definitely the right mentor, but at the end of the day, the Giants have to get the right coach. You have to get the right personnel in that coaching room, not just as the head coach, but all the way down the board. As Mike Kafka might be a decent offensive mind, but he has proven that he is not head coach material during this 5-week experiment since canning Brian Dable. And I hate to say it, Idris, this is not me vouching for Dable, but I feel that Jackson Dart played better with Dable there. Just my opinion.
He did. And I think that was kind of the problem too, because he paid too much attention to where, like, look, the defense is screwing up. Blah blah blah. I think, he did good with. He did better with Jackson Dart. I admit, and I think that's why, and a lot of Giant fans gonna laugh or whatever, say, you're crazy. That's why I think Mike McCarthy might be best, because Mike McCarthy, quarterback's coach. Also, if you got Jameis as the backup, that takes a lot of pressure off of McCarthy, because see, Jameis is that guy in Jackson Dart's ear, like, yo, dude, slide. Because Jameis is the perfect quintessential backup, whatever you want to call him. He's the right guy for a rookie.
But
He's a
if
right
you
guy for
load
the
him
team.
up with the right amount of talent, he's also a guy
Yeah,
that could win big games.
he can win
Uh,
games.
and the last time that I really believe that we had it like that at the quarterback position
Mhm.
with a backup, Hostetler for
Possible.
sure.
Yep.
I mean, he proved it. He won a Super Bowl.
He's tough too. Yeah.
But the other time was actually '08 when we had a revitalized
Oh yeah.
David Carr backing up Eli Manning, the one and only time in NFL history where two
Number
number
one.
one overall picks were in the same quarterback room. And the one time that I remember Carr getting some real action was in mop-up duty in a blowout of the Raiders. But
Yep.
he looked so damn good. And I was like, it made me feel great knowing that, God forbid, if Eli really ever got hurt,
You got a
and
guy.
with that, you're the defending Super Bowl champions, mind you.
Yeah, that's why Jameis Winston he's gonna retire a Giant.
No doubt.
Because he's not leaving New York. He took to New York like Eli did. Eli towards the end of his career, everybody get but he retired, stuck around the area, and now Eli's like one of the freaking
The
mayors of New
only
York.
way that Jameis leaves the Giants is that he would have to be guaranteed that he's going to get a honest, fair shake.
Yeah.
To be a starter for a complete season. Not to mention
I don't know,
that it would
man.
have to be a starter for a team that actually could win right now, because Jameis is not at an age where he wants to be on a team that's not going to be competing for the playoffs or more. And the New York Giants, when you look at the structure and the nucleus of the team, albeit coming off a win-loss total that is worse than last year, which I don't think anybody had measured, there were high points in the year where the Giants have proven that they could play with the NFL's elite. They had Denver on the ropes. They beat Philly. They beat the Chargers. They had the Cowboys on the ropes. They lost. They had the Lions, the Packers, the Bears on the ropes. The
Everybody.
So they have proven that they could be good in a short period of time. And, you consider the dynamic play of a guy like a Malik Neighbors. You consider that Cam Scatterbo is a really, really good player. They have the opportunity to rectify this in the near future. Marcus Freeman, to Daniel's point, has been linked to the Giants as well. I still think there's unfinished business in Notre Dame. They were so close to making the BCS again. 2 1-point losses to start their season really just put a monkey wrench in their operation. I'm not going to bitch, moan, and complain, even if I do think the Irish kind of got hosed, for the sheer fact that more times than not, they don't get hosed.
No, they got
the only
hosed.
other time that I could really point out that they got hosed at this level, you got to go way back to '93.
Oh yeah, they got hosed. I'm a Irish hater. No, they got hosed.
No, I think so, because the losses were so early in the year and they were so fickle with the way they lost. But I think what hurt them is with Miami being topsy-turvy, losing some games that they shouldn't have lost. I think it made that loss to Miami look worse.
Well, we'll see what Miami did, though.
Yeah, once again. So, but I think what really hurt Notre Dame was the ascension of Indiana. If Indiana doesn't come out of nowhere and do what they did, I think Notre Dame would still be in it.
But I knew Indiana was going to be top 5 because last year they ran the table and they lost.
No doubt. No doubt. And as an Irish fan, I would like to see Coach Freeman come back. Not that I wouldn't be happy for him if he became the Giants head coach, but I don't think he's the best option for the Giants, as much as I love Coach Freeman.
I would like him to stay at Notre Dame because
win it.
he's building something there. He's building something there. And I didn't like Brian Kelly there.
Hell no.
Brian Kelly. And he's looking better, even on the leadership standpoint, better than
well, the thing with Freeman is that as a Notre Dame fan, I can critique what's fair and not fair. And with the huge TV contract and with just the overall mass fandom that Notre Dame brings around the country, similar to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's why I don't like
I think that Notre Dame has benefited in a big way over that. But the thing that makes Coach Freeman stand out to me is that I feel that Notre Dame's there unequivocally now because they belong at the table, as opposed to getting so much benefit because they are Notre Dame. Yeah. And I think Coach Freeman has brought that righteousness in terms of they're getting ranked up here because they are really a great program again, as opposed to being a good program that gets great benefits.
You know what?
So that's the Marcus Freeman effect, in my opinion.
Yeah, because, in the past, like I said, I'm a Irish hater. In the past, I never had any confidence in them getting to a bowl game and doing anything. I was like, nah, they're gonna blow it. But this team, even last year when he was, earning his shit, even this year when they played each game, I was like, damn, they're gonna. It was like I knew they were gonna win, and I knew
no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt, Idris.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't say I have to hate for him anymore. I think the hate I had for him was because of Brian Kelly.
Oh, I couldn't stand Brian Kelly as a huge Notre Dame fan. I remember talking to Zappy, and we were so irritated with the way he left in the middle of the night, a la Art Modell. A lot of college coaches do that. Lane Kiffin, that's a reputation that he has as well. It's a very brutal business coaching in the collegiate level, and now you have players that they don't have to stay with their commitments because of the transfer portal. It's a more student athlete friendly landscape in the NCAA now.
I didn't like Lou Holtz either. I guess I never liked Notre Dame. I liked Rocket Ismail. I loved him. I like some of the plays that came out of Notre Dame, but I never liked Notre Dame. But I'm going to say right here on the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast today, my hatred for Notre Dame is gone.
All right.
Because Brian Kelly's gone.
So I can cop you a Rocket Ismail jersey.
Oh, you could have got me that anyway.
Well, I got to be very careful with what jersey that is, because I certainly wouldn't send you a pro one of him playing with Dallas. That's for damn sure.
Oh, hell no. Nah. Yeah, and see, like I said, my hatred towards them goes back to Lou Holtz and how Notre Dame, they were like the Cowboys. I couldn't stand them. I hated them. But with Marcus Freeman, I kind of hated him with Marcus Freeman.
Nunez is a funny guy.
Yeah, Nunez is crazy, man. I'll be listening to Nunez, man. You shouts out to you, Nunez, man. You's my man, though. But what made me the hatred stop leaving me was the way, and it's not because he's black. I want to get, because me, I'm not that type of guy who's going to root for somebody just because they're black. Like, yeah. No,
well, if anything, you would hate on him, similar to how you play around with your cousin about being light skinned.
Exactly. But I like him because he's bringing something to Notre Dame.
Shit.
He's bringing like respect and all that to Notre Dame. I mean, he's got that team. So I can drop my hate towards them. Do I want him as a Giants coach? If they picked him, I would like him because he's young. He can really, get with Jackson Dart and Scatterball, and that would be a crazy dynamic. You got two crazy horses right there, both of them, and you got this young coach, dealing with that. Then you got Jameis Winston. He's like the freaking ringleader. But now he wouldn't be my first choice. But I'll take him.
I think it's Mike McCarthy from a safety level.
Yeah.
I from a no coach. I've said it before. No coach has taken two different teams to Super Bowl victories. The closest was Bill Parcells, actually, in terms of special teams blunders. I'm calling blunders.
Think about what he could do. What he can do with a young Jackson Dart.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about, because he did wonders for Dak. He did wonders for AR8, AR12 at the time.
Right.
No, I think
he got 12 young too. He got him, right out the gate.
And one thing I want to make clear when I said about getting hosed in '93, shouts out William Barton on Floyd, friend of the show. We had him on the show. Great guy. Last fullback to be drafted in round one. He was a member of that FSU team that won the national title. Then he went on to the Niners, won as a rookie. He still has a rookie record for touchdowns in a game as a running back. But the tragedy in that season was not that FSU got it. Notre Dame didn't. Notre Dame beat him head up against Charlie Ward and co., William Floyd and co. in South Bend. The problem, get the hell out of here, Nunez. Missed me with that bullshit.
I'm also hearing that this season.
Yeah, you hearing.
Nah, I doubt that.
Nunez, watch out, bro. Watch out. I don't want you to end up like Zappy, bro.
Right. I forgot all about Zappy. And I forgot all about Zappy.
Oh, God. Get the hell out of here.
We love you, Zappy, man. But Dad, you hooked us up on a Monday morning, dude.
Yeah, he gave us too much material with that. He said he's being dead serious. I don't know where he heard this, but I might have to read on this. All right. Changing gears, I'm going to talk Jalen Brunson, New York Knicks for a couple minutes before we get out of here. Huge week for them in general. good week for them in general, as winning the NBA Cup, choosing to not put the banner up.
Yep.
I get it, because of a bigger goal. I think a more established winner like the Lakers, it actually looks better for them to put it up because they don't have no explaining to do. You look in the forum and there's nothing but championship banners.
Yeah.
The Knicks are one of the proudest NBA organizations. They won the original NBA game. They've always been in the mix. When you talk about the great Havlicek teams, the Celtics had their two big NBA wins in the finals were against Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Lakers. But, the 90s, one of the more popular teams in the league, one of the winningest teams in the league, but they fell short in large part to Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller.
Yep.
You fast forward to this era of Knicks basketball, they made a very important coaching change that I think, I know, I do. But the Rangers depressing the shit out of me has been a contributing factor why I've been avoiding hockey a little bit. But yes, I do agree. That was quite the scene with Chris Kreider when the Ducks beat the Rangers at the Garden. Back to what I'm getting at with Jalen Brunson. You beat your forever rivals last night, the Miami Heat. Unfortunately, a little blip in the road that wouldn't make it a perfect week. You did lose to Philly at home. Only the second loss in the Garden for the Knicks this year. They respond immediately and bust up Miami. What I like about this Knicks team right now, Tyler Kolek has been given the keys essentially to be the backup to Jalen Brunson. Coach Mike Brown putting a great deal of trust in him. You're seeing this bench expand to 11 guys, where it's not all on number 11. It's not all on Karl Anthony Towns either. It's not all on Josh Hart play to the level of pure exhaustion. Right now, what the Knicks have, in my genuine opinion, is the most balanced roster in the NBA. Will that produce an NBA Finals appearance? I've said it before. I'll say it again. Anything short of an NBA Finals appearance for this New York Knicks 2025-2026 team would be a massive letdown when you consider that Halliburton and Tatum are both not in their way this year. Not to mention that the Cleveland Cavaliers are underachieving. I think this is the Knicks year in the East. The logical argument for who will stop them from winning their third overall NBA title, obviously.
You know what?
SGA and the Thunder, who are having a phenomenal season. But let's not forget, it's just Cups play. It's just one game. The team that did beat the Thunder lost to the Knicks.
With the Knicks, I like that they didn't hang the banner, man. But I'm glad they got that feeling of winning, like some type of championship.
And it's a quick adjustment tournament because it's like the NCAA where you only get one crack at each other.
Yeah. So I'm glad they did it that. I was like, thank you. Because I knew Mike Brown's history. He was
for sure.
Golden State for so many years. He went to Sacramento. Sure. I mean, he didn't last
He's
Sacramento.
Been around.
But the way
he Cleveland played, to the finals with a young LeBron.
The way he coaches deep. And he said, we're going to go 8 to 10 deep. Now we're going 11 deep. And you need that in the play. Because see, last year, when we did decide to go into the bench, was I like, oh shit, we won. We won because I remember we sat Brunson down.
Landry Shamet had some big. And that's the thing that I like about what we're seeing now, because Coach Thibodeau would be so stubborn that he would bust them down until they couldn't walk. But now, this is something that I like. You have a guy like Tyler Kolek in the fourth quarter, say in the last 3 minutes in 2 to 3 possession games.
He's yes, who is he? Like
he balled out in the summer league. What I like about him with his traditional point guard elements to his game is that you could bring out both ball handlers late in the game, Jalen Brunson as well as Tyler Kolek. And Tyler Kolek could serve as your one, where Brunson is your scoring guard in those moments. Because Brunson is not traditionally the point guard that's going to be giving you 10 assists a game. It's more like anywhere between 3 and 5, 3 and 6, sometimes 7, 8.
But he's going to give you 35 though,
Yeah, he'll give you 30. He'll give you like 35, 5 and 2 or something like that. 2 being the rebounds. He's not a big rebounder. But the point I'm making is like when you got a guy like Kolek in there, it enables Brunson to be that scorer.
Exactly.
And as of right now, the way I see it, the best team in the NBA is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the second best team is the New York Knicks.
New York Knicks. It is. And we're going to get better because, see, I love Mike Brown's way of coaching. I don't want to see them trading Yaba Sewell or anything. I want them to run with this group they got, period, end of sentence. we're good with what we got. Let these guys gel. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
We are good with what we got. We don't need Cat is playing. He ain't acting lazy. He's running up and down the floor. Everyone's doing what they got to. Now, OG had a stinker the other night, but he came back and balled out. What we have is what we have. Let's roll with it. Let's see what we got by the time we get to the break. You know, that's when we say, okay,
all right, I'm with it.
Let's keep
rolling.
That's
where I'm at too.
Let's keep rolling, man. I love this team.
No, for sure, for sure.
What I was going to say is my bad.
No, you good.
One thing about New York fans, and I'm going to talk about the OGs like us with the Giants, Yankees, Rangers, Knicks. Anything short of a championship for us is a failure. That's
and
how
it's not
think.
Just, and it's an expectation that's built on being Yankee fans that bleeds into our fandom of other teams.
Yes.
When you look at the Knicks or the Rangers, of course they don't have the history. Well, they have a lot of history. They don't have the staying power of winning that the New York Yankees do.
Right.
The New York Giants have always been, truthfully, a very erratic franchise that always manages to win a Super Bowl once a decade. Yep. That has been who the Giants have been. Even if you go back to their pre-merger success, they have always been a team that would not run a decade, but would win one in a decade. It goes back to even pre-merger, as they are 8-time world champions.
Dude, do you know how many times we won the NFC East or the NFC? Only 14 times.
Yes, and you're talking about 101 year history, soon to be 102 year history. I mean, this is a team that is undefeated in the NFC title game, 5-0.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
80% winning clip, 80% winning clip in the Super Bowl. The one blemish, of course, to the legendary defense of the 2000 Ravens, who often gets compared. No,
nobody was beating
often gets compared to your cousin's team, Emery's team, the 85 Bears, in terms of just overall dominance on the defensive side of the ball. But it gets to that point now where we're going to be doing our shout outs, wrapping it up here. Announcements to come for our next show. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Check out these shorts we've been doing. And check out the Puff Daddy Show. We want Ard on that topic, which is going to lead to just an appetizer, as we're going to be putting out a lot more hip-hop content here on the show. And speaking of hip-hop, speaking of music in general, check out the V-Mix, the Vicious Mix on live365.com, where you can see this man, Idris Salam, and it beats your Pandora. So check it out. Definitely check it out. Also, check out our friends at the Casual Convo Show every 8 to 10 p.m., every other Wednesday or Monday, just depending on how they're planning to do their schedule out there. Check out the Sports Corner with our guys, Joe Gal, as well as Johnny Nast. Last but not least, check out the Bleed Blue Show. Shouts out Steve Azul.
Let me say one thing before we sign out. If anyone, I know Suge Knight, I know you got some hookups in prison or whatever, but we're letting you know here at the Richard Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast, if you need to say anything that needs to get out there, you contact me, Bosco from the Bronx. That's my handle on Facebook. Okay, contact Richie, and we'll get your word out.
Yeah, I know that Art of Dialogue worked with Suge not too long ago, but that would be a very cool interview to have. And, with the way that we've been dusting off Diddy like too much bad dandruff, I'm always down for this. And, that would be interesting. Daniel Nunez, thanks for participating and joining us today in Go Birds back-to-back. Get out of here.
I don't know about that.
For Nunez, for Idris, I am Richie. Thank you so much for hanging with us. We had a great time today on the show. Announcements to come for our next show as the NFC AFC playoff push is in full bloom, and a lot to still be decided, as our conclusion after this Week 16 rundown is that some of these wildcard teams might be more threatening than some of these division winners, and that makes for a very, very unpredictable, not so easy to predict playoffs, and that's going to be a lot of fun for everybody that loves football. For Idris, I am Richie. We are out.
Holla at us, Suge.